24 votes to approve a change. 16 teams reportedly are in favor of the ban. The topic will likely be revisited when owners hold their spring meetings on May the 20th and 21st in Minnesota. Nathan Eovaldi has completed Major League Baseball's first complete game of the year. He pitched a four-hitter as the Rangers shut out the Reds 1-0 on Tuesday. Alex Ovechkin scored career goal number 891. That's 4 shy of the NHL record held by Wayne Gretzky. Ovechkin gave the Capitals a 2-0 lead with about 4 minutes left in the first period of Tuesday's 4-3 win over the Bruins in Boston. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his past 18 games. He's got 8 games remaining this season to surpass Gretzky's mark. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours. Even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy.
Get the SportsGrid mobile app and get gaming strategies and information faster than you can say, "No, honey, I know how to gamble," when your wife asks for $10 to get a scratcher. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline. With the two best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, SiriusXM Channel 159.
Best hour of your day officially underway. It's Wednesday, Hump Day right here on the SportsGrid Network. It's your boy, Donnie Rightside. Solo mission, and away we go. And also, you're watching on YouTube, congratulations. It's a great place to be. SportsGrid On Demand. Over 7,000 people have subscribed there. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, getting in the chat box, saying hello, and having some fun. Also, if you're watching through the SportsGrid app, one of the best apps in the business, absolutely the place you need to be. Or if you're listening right now on sportsgridradio.com, fantastic. Or SiriusXM Channel 159. As I fight through munching on some pretzels here over the break and try to get this through my voice. The good part about this is with technology, I have a cough button, which I can cough and you can't hear me. You can watch me cough if you want on the SportsGrid On Demand site. Maybe that's fun. Aaron Schoen's out there. Yes, sir. Absolutely having some fun. Today is a day where we take a look at, yes, some hot topics are going to come across the landscape that we will talk about. But time is of the essence today. I have my pen. I have my paper right here. We're going to handicap Major League Baseball. Why? Game number 1 today, 12:40. Followed by 3 games in the 1 o'clock hour, 1:10, 1:10, and 1:15. Followed by another game at 2 o'clock, at 2:10 actually. And then we have 3:07, 3:35. And then into the 4 o'clock hour, 4:10, 4:10, 4:10, 4:40. And then 6 o'clock hour, 6:35, 6:45. Then a 7 o'clock start and an 8:38 start. Not going to have to wake up, go to bed all that late tonight to watch all this Major League Baseball action. Now, yesterday, play that I did put out on Twitter, which was a 1-by-1-by-1 parlay, it ended up losing. I'm going to tell you the story about yesterday with that. It was Bryce Terang, which is the Milwaukee Brewers. He hit his number. Manny Machado, which was later that night, hit his number. Wyatt Langford hit a home run in the first inning, but I went 0 for 5 with Adolis Garcia. So that plus money prop that went down, which is going to happen. Had a great day the yesterday before that. But as I was just starting to go to bed and I saw Adolis Garcia's final at bat where he popped out and realized that the game probably wasn't going into extras, and it didn't because of a complete game shutout by Nathan Eovaldi, I said, I can't let Manny Machado's at bats go to waste. So yesterday went in, and I'm just going to try to see. This was on the Bet365 book, which I'm logging on right now because I just want to get to the exact specificities of the way I bet last night. Because as I told you, I loved Manny Machado. He didn't have the chance to close out, and he would have because Adolis Garcia certainly didn't do his job. So I went in and said, you know what? Let me pick a couple guys out for San Diego, which as I'm bringing up right now. Louis Arise, I put to get 2+ hits, runs, and RBI yesterday. I put Fernando Tatis, 1+ hit, run, or RBI. And then I had Manny Machado at 1. And I just placed a $25 bet. There was a boost on there for 30%. So a $25 wager paid back $83.50, and it hit. So yesterday was profitable overall, but I did lose that first game of the day. But I didn't want to waste that opportunity to take Machado late at night. So today, again, I have all the statistics lined up in front of me. We can take a look at some of these baseball games, but understand this. Just starting to get the feel of Major League Baseball back, winning some money on a day-to-day basis, which is great. But again, we don't have a ton of action on exact statistics, which we'll go over today. Chat box again. CJ's in here. Let's go DRS. Absolutely. My guy, Jordan P. Let's get it, everyone, he says. And also CJ says, A's, Cubs over 9 home runs past 2 games in that new A's ballpark. Love that new A's ballpark. It's been fun. I actually hit on the Cubs a couple nights ago where I believe the first inning, I hit all my 1+1+1 right away, which cashed the ticket immediately there. It's a fun market to have. And by the way, it's not just exclusive now to Bet365. If you take a look at the FanDuel Sportsbook, because guys, people ask me all the time, and I love the response. Some people just ask me questions about the websites I use, and sometimes I even screenshot like for them. Here's where I find it. Here's where the statistics are. But if you're looking for that 1+1+1 market, it doesn't pop right up under popular bets on FanDuel. You actually have to go under batter props in a certain game and scroll down. It usually starts with home runs, hit, get a couple hits, stolen bases, runs. You get that. But as you get to the bottom, after to record 4+ or more RBI, that's where the market starts there. It's players to record 1+1+1, 2, 3, and 4. I think on Bet365, it takes you all the way up, and I'm going to check that right now. So if you're saying, Donnie, I don't use FanDuel all that much. I don't know why you don't, because FanDuel probably the most popular overall of the sports books here. And if it's 365 and FanDuel, probably available in the same states that you are watching. But if I go here, which I'm on right now on 365, click Major League Baseball. If you want to just get the wide look at it, where you don't want to just click on a single game, these are some of the advantages that 365 does give you. So if you say, all right, I'm going to log in, I'm going to hit Major League Baseball, and you see where it has the under Major League Baseball lines, same game parlay plus, bet boost, player parlay, that line. Underneath that, then you'll see the game lines, hits, pitcher strikeouts. You'll see the tab next to it, which says all. I'm just looking on my desktop right now. You click on that, and you see where it says popular, player props, match, innings props, all that good stuff. You click on player props, and you scroll all the way down once again, where it shows you the last 2 lines, total hits, runs, and RBI over under, which you can take it straight, which they just listed at 1.5. Or you can hit the bottom one, which gives you the options to go. Let me see how far this goes, by the way. Got to take this out so I can sort of scroll over. It looks like you can take it all the way up to 5, which means combined hits, runs, and RBI. And again, if you're getting guys with 5s, you're talking about like just looking at this early Reds-Rangers game, like Ellie De La Cruz plus 450, but some of the bigger numbers like a TJ Friedel to get 5+ numbers at a 7-to-1 price. It's pretty high. But then again, the ones are pretty low, which is why we like to use some of those parlays, 2, 3, 4, and 5, possibly, to cash it in. And you don't have to just stick to the same game itself. You can parlay across different games. Hey, I really like Marcus Semien to do something today. Then you'll pair it up with Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. Then you'll pair that up with Yandy Diaz of maybe the Tampa Bay Rays moving forward. So I just like to let the people know exactly where I find some of these bets. So where I'm talking about, as opposed to it's not just the side and the total, the team total, just where you can find them. Because a lot of people want to know, like, Donnie, sounds great. Like, I use FanDuel. I have no idea where to look. Now you know where to look on FanDuel and 365, which is where I usually go to my 1+1+1 marketplaces here. Comparable statistics, and should I say odds on either one of those sites. Just make sure you're shopping around and say to yourself, you know what? If it's an egregious number like a -340 compared to like a -360, of course you want to take advantage of that. So always have your eyes open. All right, let's get the handicap started today. Texas and Cincinnati. Game number 1, 12:40 p.m., 9:13, 9:14 on the rotation. It's lighter versus green. You take a look at the opening number at the FanDuel Sportsbook, -134. That number is now sitting at a minus 142 price and as high as 150 at Bet365 here in New Jersey. 8.5 is the total. Always important at this time of the year to take a look at the weather conditions. It's windy in Cincinnati, but not in a good direction. 70 degrees, which you like. No precipitation in the forecast, but how about 20 degrees blowing in roughly from right field? So not a great look automatically, even if you want to fade these said pitchers in this environment. If we take a look and start in this game, again, decent weather conditions. Jack Leiter, who's faced 20 batters this year and has done really well so far. ISO, weighted on base percent. By the way, let me see if gotta have these starting lineups out here. Let me just make sure we're reading everything that we need to read at this point. Okay, of course, they're both out here. Let's go to current season and pick it up. Okay, again, Jack Leiter, first start, fantastic. ISO power number, 0. Weighted on base percentage, 257 on the season. You take a look at the Cincinnati Reds offense here. It has done some damage. McLean, Ellie De La Cruz, and Christian Encarnacion Strand have great numbers against right-handed pitching. Again, limited statistics of only around 10 to 12 batters. If you take a look at the Texas Rangers going up against Hunter Green, who's been very well himself in his first start, Wyatt Langford, Adolis Garcia, and Jonah Heim as some of those batters. I might be staying away from this game just due to the conditions and the windiness, and also not enough statistics there. We're handicapping more on a Wednesday right here on the grid next.
Download the SportsGrid mobile app.
Just do it. You might as well get it.
We're not going to shut up about it until you do.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Forecasters are warning of potentially deadly flash flooding and strong tornadoes as more rounds of thunderstorms are poised to strike parts of the Midwest and South. The potent storm system will bring the threat of significant life-threatening flash flooding starting Wednesday, according to the National Weather Service. Thunderstorms with multiple rounds of heavy rains are expected in parts of Texas, the lower Mississippi Valley, and the Ohio Valley beginning Wednesday and lasting through Saturday. Hooters, the U.S.-based restaurant chain known for chicken wings and Hooters Girls, has filed for bankruptcy protection. HOA Restaurant Group filed the motion for Chapter 11 protection on Monday. The company ran into financial woes, but says it intends to stay open and resolve its troubles within months. A group of the company's original founders that own almost a third of Hooters' U.S. locations, including about half of its biggest volume restaurants, plans to buy and operate more of the outlets. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Let's make something crystal clear. The winning edge has nothing to do with increasing good luck. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's sports gaming strategies and information. You want luck? Flip a coin. You want to win?
Flip it here.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Got some pretty good pitchers on the card today, by the way. This is something that we don't love. We like to fade bad pitchers and knock them around and get RBIs. But if you take a look at just this year, again, limited sample size. We talked about that Texas and Cincinnati game. If we go back to last year, 27 eligible pitchers on the card with at least 20 minimum innings pitched last year, as opposed to these guys pitching today. That's how you can extrapolate. Hunter Green was actually 24th out of 27 pitchers last year in xFIP minus number. Now, his ERA was at 2.75. His xFIP minus wasn't bad, though, at a 103. Keep in mind, the baseline for xFIP minus numbers is 100 as an underlying value of a pitcher, and also goes ballpark specific, or non-specific, I should say, which says, you know what? If it's the Colorado Rockies, we're going to, upgrade your situation. We might downgrade it if it's the Marlins. So it sort of brings you to that level playing field to get to know what the pitchers are doing. How about Jack Leiter of Texas, who had a decent start on his opening day? He was a 129 xFIP minus and an ERA last year of 8.83. So if you're going off last year's statistics, you might be able to bang around and say to yourself, you know what? I don't think that's going to last again for Jack Leiter. But then again, pitching environment, wind blowing in, tougher to hit home runs. We get that. Because last year he had 173 batters he faced, a 230 ISO, and a weighted on base percentage of 386. So he is a right-handed pitcher. If you're just looking at those numbers, right, and base it on this year, McLean, De La Cruz, and Christian Encarnacio Strand would be good numbers to look at. But if you go back to last year, based on those statistics, TJ Friedel would be one of those guys. Ellie De La Cruz certainly would be at a 249 ISO. And Jamer Candelario had a very good season at a 236 ISO against 316 at-bats against right-handed pitchers. But that's always the tough part to take a look at because of so limited amount of statistics that we have. Maybe just placing on both of those pitchers saying, you know what, wind's blowing in, maybe stay away from that game. It's a shame because it was 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, people. We fire away right away. Down in Tampa, it's Paul Skeens' day today. You know his season last year. Sensational. ISO power number against 097 last year. Weighted on base percentage, 249. His xFIP minus was a 63 with an ERA of 1.96. Phenomenal. So usually right off the bat, you say you want to stay away, specifically when it used to be at the Trop. But now we're outdoors, George Steinbrenner Stadium. Identical dimensions for Yankee Stadium in New York as it is in Tampa. Total degrees today, 90 at first pitch in the afternoon. But a wind is blowing sort of crossway, right? Right foul pole to left foul pole. Not going to help you all that much. I'm not into fading Paul Skeens at this point in his career because he's giving me no indication that he's going to get tripped up anytime soon. Looking at the Pittsburgh batters coming into this game. Current season, Ryan Pepio again on the mound, 26 batters in his opening day. Good ISO power numbers for him, 130 against, weighted on base percentage 303, and a lineup that just looks putrid for Pittsburgh right now. Just based on this year's statistics, the only batter worth his salt against right-handed pitching so far, which these guys have anywhere between 15 to 20 at-bats against right-handed pitching. O'Neal Cruz is a 214 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 369. Everybody else is really, really struggling. Now, if you go back to last season's statistics with this lineup, again, only two players that would be worth their salt on this team. Once again, O'Neal Cruz, who had a good season last year at the plate against right-handed pitching, and Brian Reynolds, one of my favorite players in Major League Baseball, was very good against right-handed pitching. But this game, again, looks like it's going to be one of those, you know what? Let's just let that one pass at this point because technically it doesn't make all that much sense. You have good pitchers on both sides. Yes, smaller ballpark. Yes, heated up ballpark, but something I just can't find myself dipping my toes in the water. And sometimes it's like this, though, early on. You pick your spots. Once we get, guys, again, I can't say this enough, at least a month into the season, it's paint by numbers. If you have a pitching matchup, you might fire on 3 and 4 guys every game that you have that matchup on RBI props, 1+1+1 market, or maybe ride that market to the 2s, the 3s, and even the 4s at this point. So we're just trying to find some spots that make a lot of sense. Cole Reagans is on the mound today for the Kansas City Royals, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers finally woke up out of their slump yesterday. Reagans last year was very good. 802 batters he faced, a 119 ISO, and a weighted on base percentage against. Fantastic. This season, he's only faced 22 batters. Right-handers, absolutely lights out against. Lefties, a little bit loose, but if you play that out to more than 7 at-bats, I don't know if you want to go into that. And also, look at the temperatures. Actually, no, we're not even going to look at the temperatures. It's Milwaukee. They put the dome out there. So it'll be in the dome again. Churio's got decent numbers against lefties this year. Isaac Collins does, as well as Vinny Capra. Everybody else, extreme struggle. If we go back to last year, which I can't wait till we don't have to go back to last year's stats to get an eyeball on some of these situations. Contreras, Hoskins, Capra, and Ortiz would be the players. But again, not enough to go off that would get you really excited from a Milwaukee perspective. Kansas City going up against Freddie Peralta, who's had one start on the season. Lefties have gotten the best of them. And quite frankly, right-handed batters have a strong ISO power number against also. So not a great start for Vinny Peralta, but he went up against the torpedo bat New York Yankees in Yankee Stadium over the weekend. But if you are taking a look at just this year's statistics on a couple guys that could do some damage, Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez for the Kansas City Royals. If we go back to last season's statistics for them, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny P., Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, all legitimate options. But again, not screaming to me in this game that we absolutely have to get after one of these players. So if I would have had to say, you know what, Donnie, I want 2, and I'm going to start writing some stuff down too, because in the 1+1+1 market, let's go with the KC Royals. I'm going to write down, it would be India, And again, I'm not saying I'm playing this yet. This game, by the way, is going to start at 110, so we have some time to sort of decompress and take a look at things. The reason why is his ISO is low, but his weighted on base percentage is 364. And in the one market there, get on base, get driven in by Bobby Witt or Vinny Pasquatch, you're going to cash that in. 2 would still be, actually, Bobby Witt's having a bad season. We'll take out Bobby Witt right now. I don't say bad season, just against right-handed pitching, not a lot of ISO, not a lot of weighted on base percentage. But so the second guy would be Vinny P, Vinny Pasquantino, and then the third guy in that lineup, as always, our good luck charm, Salvi Perez. So I wrote down 3 names from the city. Not to say I'm going to play those, but maybe just saying, you know what? Let's capitalize on Freddie Peralta, who again had a pretty good year last year, but focusing on what some of these players are doing this year against Freddie Peralta struggling early. Maybe that does make some sense. Next game we'll talk about is the Los Angeles Angels and the St. Louis Cardinals. Yusei Kikuchi is going to be on the mound today for the Angels. Now, temperatures, 71 degrees with a 21-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left field. That could be interesting, going up against Sonny Gray. So if we're looking at the current season, after we get back from the break, I'm going to read you some stats here on the Los Angeles Angels that you're not going to love if you're looking for some player props here based on their hitting performances against righties. Also, Kikuchi, maybe a chance for the St. Louis Cardinals to open up a bit? Let's find out next right here on Moneyline. We're capping baseball, people.
Get the SportsGrid mobile app. It's much easier to carry than your lucky horseshoe.
And you won't get stopped at the airport.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1976, the A's trade star outfielder Reggie Jackson and pitcher Ken Holtzman to the Baltimore Orioles for Don Baylor, Mike Torres, and Paul Mitchell. A year later, Torres won Game 6 of the World Series for the Bombers, and Jackson became a legend by belting 3 home runs.
Oh, what a blow! What a way to top it off!
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
New Roar University research finds unremarkably when you burn your hand on the stove, it really hurts. However, if your hand is hidden so you can't see it while it's getting burned, while you're staring at a lifelike rubber hand, it doesn't hurt much. Huh? Kids, don't try this at home, but this confusing rubber hand illusion has uncovered a complicated relationship between the human mind and pain. Maybe leading to effective new therapies for chronic discomfort. However, no information yet on the effects on the nervous system from wearing a rubber nose. Follow me at Capalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Sports Rage tonight.
I've said it before, March Madness, like the actual NCAA tournament, it's for amateurs. It's like New Year's Eve. Every jackass, Johnny and Sally, go out on New Year's Eve, right? And, we're partiers. We go out on New Year's Eve. We go out on Halloween. Now, the real drunks are going out on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying?
It's Sports Rage tonight with Gabe Morency. Weekdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. There are too many people addicted to their phones these days, unless it's to look or listen to the SportsGrid mobile app.
In fact,
you should delete all your apps but ours.
Your wife texts you too much anyway.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Told you we're going to go over some statistics here between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Angels. Just handicapping this game as I told you. I'm writing the forecast with 70-degree temperatures and a heavy wind blowing out to left, which immediately piques your interest in saying to yourself, where can we go with this? How can we make some money? Yusei Kikuchi last year was really good, guys. 737 of the amount of batters that he's faced, a 147 ISO against, and a weighted on base percentage of 300. Equal opportunity, very good against both lefties and righties, being a left-handed pitcher. This year, 23 batters faced, again, very limited sample size. Touched up a bit from right-handed batters, but really doing a good job against lefties. You look at the lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals, and if I just go back to last year and try to, put it into this season, Nootbaar, Contreras, and Baker, along with Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn, had really good numbers last year against lefties. If we take a look at the current season, Donovan, Herrera, Scott, it looks like, were the best. But again, we're talking about 5 or 6 at-bats here. That's what makes it tough. If I go back and look at last year's statistics from 2024 with the xFIP minus numbers, Yusei Kikuchi, 78, that's fantastic. And you take a look at the other side of the coin, it was Sonny Gray, who was a 70 last year. And by the way, the Los Angeles Angels, even though we do have a win that's blowing out to left field, let me give you some of the statistics here for the current season for those batters going up against right-handed pitching as follows. Taylor Ward, 077 ISO, terrible. Luis Rengifo, a 0 ISO. Mike Trout, a 0 ISO. Jorge Soler, 083 ISO. Moncada, 0. Shanuel, 0. Ohapi, 0. Adele, 0. Nicky Lopez, 0. So if we're trying to find, ways that we can, hit it around a bit, it doesn't look like it's coming from the Angels' perspective. Now, last year, as we said, against some of these left-handed or right-handed pitchers, they've done really well against. Ward decent, Trout decent, Soler decent, Moncada decent, Ohapi decent, Adele decent. They just haven't gotten started off in the right direction yet. So again, we're 4 games in, and only one side probably has my attention, and that's Kansas City with India, Vinny P, and Salvador Perez. Let's go to the 210 slot here. Cold conditions again, Minnesota and Chicago. It's the White Sox. Minnesota finally busted out of their slump and scored some runs yesterday. This total here is listed at 7. Looks like 7 just about everywhere. Heavy favorite, though, to Minnesota with Pablo Lopez on the mound at a minus 180 to minus 190 favorite, depending where you're shopping, over Burke. If we look at some of the statistics in this game for this season, you do have the Chicago White Sox, which are in pretty good numbers against right-handed pitching. Maton looks decent. Benintendi, Vargas, Tice, all at the top of that lineup. Good weighted on-base percentages and also ISO power numbers. Facing Lopez, who last year was very good. And if we look at Lopez last year, his xFIP minus number, where is Pablo at? That list here, there he is. An 82, which was very good. This year, 22 batters faced, only 1 start. Has a little bit of issues with left-handed batters. So if I was looking today, and again, it's 57 degrees with a wind blowing in at 15 miles an hour. But if you're just saying, got it, you had to play 3 guys in that Chicago White Sox lineup based on this year's statistics of just getting out hot at the gate. Holy, Vargas has 36 at bat. Is this right? Or no, excuse me. Let me change that up. Maton and Benintendi would be the 2 players. Actually, I was looking at different statistics there. So if I had to pick 2 players from Chicago, Maton, who's leading off, and then it would be Benintendi in the 3-hole spot. 8 at-bats and 11 at-bats, for each one of those guys. Not a lot. A 500 ISO power number for Maton, and Benintendi at a 667 ISO power number. Those are the 2 guys I would pick. But again, not advantageous with the weather conditions there. You go to the opposite side against Sean Burke. Not a lot of statistics from last year, only 76 batters that he faced. And he's not even listed here, I don't think, on my roster, because at least you have to have 20 pitches. I don't even know if he got to last year. 22 batters he's faced this year, really good numbers. ISO and weighted on base percentage is extremely low, and a lineup for the Twins that finally woke up yesterday, but still doesn't have great statistics on the year. So maybe just a few batters to look at for the Chicago White Sox, which include Maton and Benintendi. Interesting stuff there, no doubt. A lot of afternoon games here coming up, and we're going to set the table for the next game, which is the Washington Nationals taking on the Toronto Blue Jays and Mackenzie Gore, who slayed the Philadelphia Phillies on opening day. Going up against Easton Lucas. Not a lot of statistics for him last year, which he got lit up in the 61 batters. So we'll see how that plays out today against a team that doesn't hit all that well against lefties as a whole anyway. Tough times here. We're digging through the trash, though, people. Let's come up with the gold next. Moneyline.
This is the place.
This is where you'll get expert perspectives and sports gaming strategies 24/7.
And it's free.
Beat that, you cheap. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Alex Ovechkin scored career goal number 891. That's 4 shy of the NHL record held by Wayne Gretzky. Ovechkin gave the Capitals a 2-0 lead with about 4 minutes left in the first period of Tuesday's 4-3 win over the Bruins in Boston. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his past 18 games. He's got 8 games remaining this season to surpass Gretzky's mark. The tush-push vote has been tabled by NFL owners for more discussion. The Packers authored a proposal to ban the play. NFL bylaws require a minimum of 24 votes to approve a change. 16 teams reportedly are in favor of the ban. The topic will likely be revisited when owners hold their spring meetings on May the 20th and 21st in Minnesota. Nathan Eovaldi has completed Major League Baseball's first complete game of the year. He pitched a 4-hitter as the Rangers shut out the Reds 1-0 on Tuesday. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More, the place to go for sipping rosés with seltzers on ice, making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored
If sports talk stations were buffets, we'd be the one with the line out the door where every night is rib night and you came alone because the crowd gives you a measure of cover so you won't get any grief for going back 9 times. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Right back at it, going over some statistics here in the Major League Baseball afternoon schedule, which we're not having a ton of success with right now, which is okay. Some days will look better than others, and as the season moves along and batters get 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, at-bats against certain splits between lefties and righties, we'll have a better feel. The question, though, is this Easton Lucas starting today for the Toronto Blue Jays? Not a lot of information on him. What is the number on this, too? Basically a pick 'em in that game across the board. Looks like Moneyline. Where are we all going on the Moneyline? 61% of the Moneyline bets coming in on Toronto with Lucas, which again, not very many starts last year, innings per se. So again, you're really fighting an uphill battle right now in some of these games. I'll leave that one alone. Gore was fantastic on opening day against the Phillies. Don't know much about Easton Lucas based on just other statistics. Out to the West Coast, 12:35 start out west now, 3:35 Eastern. That is the Chicago Cubs and the Oakland/Sacramento Athletics here. Take a look at this one here. Current season, Jamison Tyone last year had a decent year. Good numbers combined, 675 batters faced, a 144 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 292. Struggled a little bit with lefties last year. Comes right out of the gate, 22 batters he's faced, lit up a bit. ISO 476, weighted on base percentage 553. You look at the current season right now against right-handed pitchers. Butler struggling. Rooker struggling. Blade struggling. Shea Langoliers, though, very good numbers, as well as Tyler Soderstrom. So how about that? If we take a look today and the weather, which it doesn't list here. Let me see if I can go to another forecast. Let's go. Let me just scroll down. This game takes place at, what did I say, around 3 o'clock out West Coast. We got Tigers, that's a 4 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game. Cubs, there it is, Cubs Athletics. Is it not showing that? It's not. Maybe we're not getting the correct readings here. Let me just go to another outlet to try to see if we can get that weather forecast out. Let's see, Cubs, A's, weather forecast doesn't have it listed here either. Darn it. So we don't get to see it. But based on the early returns, the A's games in Sacramento are playing certainly to overs. 8.5 is the total in this game. Opened up at 8, so certainly on the move because people are just looking ways to bet that way. Tyone versus Springs, which should be a decent matchup. Let's get back into the numbers there. Tyone struggling off the bat, so I have to write down 2 numbers here. For the Athletics, I still write down OAK just because I'm not just right. ATH. Get out of town. I'm going to write Shea Langoliers and also Tyler Soderstrom. Big names, too, man. It takes up way too many time just typing this in. So just go Tyler S. and Shea L. Options there that we can use. Last season, if we look at that, let's see here. Butler, Rooker, Blade, Langoliers, and Soderstrom, all really good numbers against right-handed pitching. Okay, so maybe on to something a little bit, even though it's early in the season. But those would be the two batters that I would match up, Shea and Tyler in that lineup. Flip it over to the Chicago Cubs going up against Jeffrey Springs, who last year only had 142 batters faced. He's a lefty, struggled a little bit with right-handed pitchers. Current season, though, 21 batters faced, he's been really good. A 0 ISO and an 0-160 weighted on base percentage. But if you look at the Cubs lineup against left-handed pitching this year, the guys who have really excelled, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker, and Matt Shaw. If we go back to last year, based on hitting, left-handed pitching, Happ, Suzuki, Tucker, Turner, and Swanson. So maybe we leave it. Well, Matt Shaw didn't have any at-bats last year against lefties, so he didn't have any statistics anyway. So if we go back to current season, maybe not bad. So I'm going to write down two more batters here for the Cubs, just to keep these notes going. Suzuki is one of those guys that I'm going to look at here, as well as Kyle Tucker, who's been absolutely on fire since coming over to the Chicago Cubs. In a hitting environment that looks like it's a plus environment out now in Sacramento. All right, let's keep moving. Cleveland and San Diego, 4-10 start out on the West Coast. Total looks like it's around 7.5. Let me just check multiple outlets here. Let's see, where are we at? Cleveland, there we go. 7.5 is the total. Heavy favorite towards Dylan Cease and the Padres at -184. Keep in mind, the Padres haven't lost a single game yet this season, rivaling those Los Angeles Dodgers out there in the West. If we look at this season's numbers, Tatis has been very good against right-handed pitching, as well as Xander Bogaerts and Gavin Sheets. Everybody else struggling a little bit outside of Jackson Merrill. Not a lot of ISO power pop, which means extra base hits. But his weighted on base percentage, guys, is a .467. That could work. Now, you take a look at Ben Lively last year through 637 batters. He was your quintessential average pitcher. Not a huge strikeout guy. ISO at 177, weighted on base percentage at .318 combined. So either way, he was fine. This year, only threw 10 batters to lefties. He's struggling just a bit there. But Louis Arise, usually one of those guys I love, probably not going to be the case. Also, 9 at-bats that Ben Lively's had against lefties. ISO 0. Walk rate 0, weighted on base percentage 0.99. So 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing crosswind today in San Diego at only 60 degrees at 1 o'clock on the West Coast, which is kind of chilly. I guess you could say if there's two guys you would write down, because usually you want the lefties, right? Up at this point. Like Tatis is a righty, though. Merrill probably one of the best in the middle. Even Cronenworth lines up, but he hasn't hit yet this year against right-handed pitching. But I guess same thing with Louis Arise. That's a tough one. Like, it's hard just to write stuff down because the backdrop. And again, once we get started in the season, it's much easier to handicap these games. We're not taking guesswork out. So I guess we're writing this down with a thought process maybe to get back to it for San Diego. So if it's lefties that you're looking for, you just want to go all lefties in that lineup. Like maybe Sheets is the best. What did Sheets do last year against lefties? Sheets was below average last year against lefties. Merrill and Cronenworth were still very good, along with Louis Arise at getting on base. So if we go back to just 30-day statistics here, or current season, excuse me, it's definitely a tough one. You know what? I'm going to lay off San Diego for right now. It's too much to look at, and they probably played 6 runs today. I don't like the way any of that plays out. Flip it over to Cleveland's side. Dylan Cease is on the mound, who was very good last year. 791 batters. This year, struggling a little bit through just 19 batters. But again, who do you lean on? Like, he's throwing 19 batters. But what was he last year? Dylan Cease last year's xFIP was 85. Like, a lot of good. By the way, the worst pitcher on the card today is Jack Leiter, based on last year's statistics at a 129 xFIP number, which obviously isn't great. But then the guy in front of him is Ben Lively at 112. That means only 12% higher than the average. So you're not getting multiple pitchers, 5, 6, and 7, that have like a 120, 130 ISO in that frame. So it is a really tough day, per se, when you're just looking at some of these batting statistics. So I'll pass on that. San Francisco and Houston, 4-10 start in Houston today. No need to worry about weather. It's going to be a dome. Landon Rupp if I'm saying that correctly. Like, we're talking about pitchers I've never heard in my life. He's a heavy dog today. He's like plus 140, which means the favorite, 170 or so on the opposite side for Framber Valdez, obviously one of the better pitchers in baseball. But last year, looking at the numbers for Roop, he had great ISO and great weighted on base percentage numbers. Hasn't thrown any pitches yet, and the Houston Astros haven't hit right-handed batters at all this season, so they're off the card right there. And Framber Valdez, who was sensational last year, decent start this year, we're out on this game too. So we're skipping by Houston. Okay. Detroit and Seattle. Played in Seattle. Cooler temperatures, 50 degrees. Light wind blowing out to center field. Pitching match in this one, Tarek Skubal. Want to go up against him in a pitcher's ballpark? Not necessarily. We'll skip right by that. And Luis Castillo, who last year, where were his numbers at? 93 xFIP minus and an ERA of 3.64, xFIP of 3.82. Had a pretty good season last year. This season, 21 batters he's faced. Struggling a little bit against right-handed batters, but I don't know how much you can even play into that. You want Justin Henry Malloy at the top of that offense? Through 5 at-bats, has a couple base knocks. Riley Green, Jake Rogers. I'm out on this one as well. Boy, this card's shaping up to be terrible. Like, I don't even have one of these games where, like, I love these players in this game. It's a lot of question marks. But the best would be maybe Oakland. How about when we started with Kansas City with India, Vinny P, and Salvador Perez? There's got to be something somewhere out here that we can trust based on these numbers. We'll keep it started here. 4 o'clock, 4:40. Mets, Marlins. That's going to start off at the other end of the break here. Come on back with us. It's Moneyline on the Mets.
Winning is not just beating the odds. It's the thing that keeps the wife smiling and your kids in respectful awe.
Oh, Father. Now cut that out.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Nathan Eovaldi has completed Major League Baseball's first complete game of the year. He pitched a 4-hitter as the Rangers shut out the Reds 1-0 on Tuesday. Alex Ovechkin scored career goal number 891. That's 4 shy of the NHL record held by Wayne Gretzky. Ovechkin gave the Capitals a 2-0 lead with about 4 minutes left in the first period of Tuesday's 4-3 win over the Bruins in Boston. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his past 18 games. He's got 8 games remaining this season to surpass Gretzky's mark. The tush-push vote has been tabled by NFL owners for more discussion. The Packers authored a proposal to ban the play. NFL bylaws require a minimum of 24 votes to approve a change. 16 teams reportedly are in favor of the ban. The topic will likely be revisited when owners hold their spring meetings on May the 20th and 21st in Minnesota. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
This is the sale you've been waiting for. The Macy's Spring VIP sale is here. Exclusive savings on the season's most loved brands with an extra 30% off Avec Les Filles, Karl Lagerfeld, DKNY, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty essentials from MAC, Armani Beauty, and too many others to mention. So get to the Macy's Spring VIP sale now and shop brands you love at prices you'll love even more. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
You've heard of smart bombs, smartphones, smart cars, smart watches, and smart glasses. Now you can add smart player, giving you sports gaming strategies and information 24/7.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Do you trust the New York Mets? That's the question today, huh? What do you think? As we sit back. Maybe a little thought process music here as I contemplate this New York Metropolitans lineup today that has done itself very well in this current season against right-handed pitching. Soto off the charts, Alonso off the charts, Nimmo off the charts, Vientos very good, Luis Torrens very good. Take a look at Connor Gillespie. Last year, guys, only 32 batters he's faced, which he was very good. This year, 24 bats he's faced. The ISO power number a little bit elevated, and the weighted on base percentage right around normal. So this might be one of those games where I look at in the middle of that lineup, and just take a look and say, Soto, this might be the best of the best so far, guys. Even though, again, not a lot of statistics to go off of. Soto, and it is a true pitcher's ballpark, Alonso, and Nimmo. There's 3 batters there for the Mets that you can probably wire in for later today. That's a 4:40 start down in South Beach. I don't know if the weather is going to be open, or I should say the dome will be open down there, but we don't worry about weather because if it's either going to be warm or it's going to be no change in conditions, which if it is warm and no rain, I would rather that ballpark be heated up than that Miami heat and humidity. But finally, something to take a look at here, right? A couple guys in that lineup do make some sense. Trusting that Connor Gillespie is still young, and these guys can pick it up. By the way, Twins, White Sox likely be delayed here by weather. That game was set to start at 2:10, and we did have a couple guys who were looking at that game, but I'm going to circle the Mets as a team overall that finally starting to get a little bit excited with. If we take a look at the Marlins today, Clay Holmes had a very good season last year, weighted on base percentage and ISO power number. This year, 23 batters faced, doing the same thing. A little bit high weighted on base percentage to righties, but outside of that, not really excited. Xavier Edwards, Otto Lopez, Griffin Conine, Graham Pauley, decent, but not enough where I would want to circle it or get down to business. Boston and Baltimore today. Garrett Crochet on the mound, very good last year, as you know, very good opening day start. Baltimore Orioles struggling with left-handed pitching, maybe something going to stay away from that side. Zach Eflin will be starting for the Orioles, who last year, through 703 batters, was very good. One start this season, roughed up a little bit by left-handed batters, which if I'm taking a look at the Sox, who have really struggled, they do have a lot of lefties in that lineup. Is anybody going to touch Rafael Devers? The guy can't even foul a baseball, let alone get a base hit. That's troublesome. Jarren Duran, he's been weighted on base percentage, has been very good at 357. No extra base hits there. Tristan Casas, very poor to start the season with a high K rate. Wilyer Abreu, though, on fire. Where's this game being played again? Baltimore, 56 degrees, wind blowing out to left. Maybe, I'm going to write down one guy here for Boston, and that's Wilyer Abreu. But I don't just want to extend this out. Let me just take any left-handed batter because they're not, doing all that much. That's one guy that I would circle and take a look at here for Boston today. So making our way, headway all the way through as we go. Baltimore batters against Crochet, leaving it out. Just been too good. Philadelphia Phillies, Kyle Freeland is on the mound. Very good statistics to start the season with one start. 20 batters he faced, a K rate of 35%, ISO low, weighted on base percentage low. Go back to last year, every number he had was elevated. But it is a left-handed pitcher. Only looks like 2 guys, which is kind of funny, this year on the Phillies. 2 guys that have hit left-handed pitching really well. It's Kyle Schwarber and it's Max Kepler. Go figure, right? But take a look at Kepler. Struck out 3 of his 5 times against lefties. The other 2, cracking home runs and base hits. So that's an interesting one to look at there. Going back to last year on the Phillies, they hit lefties really well. Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber, Realmuto, and Castellanos, all really good numbers. So that's sort of the process you go through now where you say to yourself, okay, I don't know if that's an automatic translation. Like Nick Castellanos has a 395 weighted on base percentage, just no extra base hits against left-handed pitching, but he's probably a guy that should be there. So if we go with the Phillies today, right? Like Schwarber in the middle of that lineup, we'll write him down. Number 2, got to be Castellanos. And number 3, would it be Kepler? Look, what did Kepler do again last season? Yeah, did I have those numbers? Max Kepler, not so good last year. 143 ISO, 315 weighted on base percentage. You're just going to trust Bryce Harper in that spot or Trey Turner? Is he back in the starting lineup? We won't know that because the game is not for tonight. But Trey Turner struggled to start, coming back from a back injury. I don't know if you want to trust him right out of the gate. We know Harper should be there. Bohm's in the middle. But the 2 guys I actually like are Schwarber and Kepler right now. So we'll keep those guys elevated at this point now. Colorado batters going up against Zach Wheeler. Yeah, good luck with that. That's all I'm going to say. No reason to handicap it. Last year, Zach Allen, very good numbers. This year, Zach Allen, one start, struggling, going up against the Yankees. However, 43, 42 degrees. That's low. Wind blowing in double digits. They trust that Yankees-Arizona game on its face value. Carlos Rodon on the mound, struggled last year with righties. This year, ISO is elevated, but only 13 batters that he faced. And also the cold weather conditions. I think I might just hold off on that Yankees game, even though I might actually have fired away if we had some better temperatures there in the Bronx. But we have all day to think about that. 7:05, depending on how some of these earlier games are going. But it is a pitching, matchup that you could probably get away with betting into. Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Atlanta Braves, who are absolutely ice cold at the plate. Bryce Elder's on the mound, struggle with lefties and righties. So this might be a game we can finally get down on tonight. I'm not asking for a lot. So if we go LAD, maybe looking at a team total for the Dodgers to the over. Guys that have been lights out with their weighted on base percentages against right-handed pitching to start the season: Ohtani, Betts, Hernandez, Conforto, Smith, Edman, Kike Hernandez, all elevated numbers. So I'm just going to write the team now as a total for the Dodgers. The Atlanta Braves going up against Blake Snell. Yeah, good luck with that. Michael Harris, who's a left-handed batter, has a 500 ISO through 6 at-bats against left-handed pitching. But again, it's 6 at-bats. The entire lineup just does not hit for the Atlanta Braves. So for me, to stay away from Snell, but I am circling the Dodgers. So we got some options now. A couple guys for the Phillies. Looks like the entire Dodgers lineup. New York Mets, I think have a legitimate chance today to do some damage, but again, against a pitcher I don't know all that much about. A couple of guys from Oakland, maybe Kansas City. Beautiful setup? Not necessarily. But later in the day, starting with the Mets at 4:40 and ending with the Dodgers at 8:38, I think that's where we might be going today for some fun. But it's fun to handicap games on the fly. Early in the season, Wednesday, hump day, nothing better. Full slate of Major League Baseball. Let's continue it next here on Moneyline.
Get the SportsGrid mobile app and you'll never be alone. Take the latest episodes of your favorite shows with you anywhere. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Imagine combining the exciting investment opportunity of cryptocurrencies with the power of artificial intelligence to maximize your IRA, 401k, or other investment funds. Listen, if you're looking for ways to accelerate your retirement growth, Block Trust IRA has market-leading strategies and solutions for all levels of investors, from $1,000 to millions. And they partner with Bitcoin Magazine's #1 crypto trading fund in the world to maximize your returns. Plus, their team of IRA specialists is here to help you roll over your IRA or qualified retirement account to the new world of cryptocurrency investments. So make this free call right now to set up your account and learn more.
800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. That's 800-434-5313.
Carver and Lisi.
By the way, great intro song, Matthias. I like that. That's going to be the new intro on Wednesdays with Carver and sometimes Lisi. Hey, look at this. I'm in the credits tonight. I made it to the big time. Look at this.
We had a discussion about this last night.
I was watching. I got a lot of things going on, Joe. A lot of things going on.
I don't understand what you're upset about. You're not on the show that night.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. On the SportsGrid Radio Network.
You've searched, and now you found it.
A mostly peaceful oasis in the sports talk desert, where one multi-platform giant shines like a lighthouse on the calm ocean.
Nice metaphor.
That network
is SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
How we feeling with these streets, huh? How we feeling Major League Baseball? Overly confident? Not necessarily, but some pretty good spots now opening up in the Mets and the Dodgers, I believe. Maybe we can factor on placing some action. Maybe it's early afternoon. Maybe we wait till later. Maybe we get upset because we had a couple guys picked out that scored early and we didn't bet it and we get upset with it. It's the way it is. And also, if you guys follow me on X at Right Side VP, all together, right, RIGHT, side, SIDE, V as in Victor, P as in Paul. Send me what you got tonight. Let me see what you have. RBI prop sides, totals, parlays they got put in. Let me see what you're digging with. I always like to see tickets, root on people to win some money, same as myself. If I have any tickets, I'll put them out and play it. You know I'm going to have tickets today. So be on the lookout, probably a little bit later as we factor some things in. Next week is the Masters. The unofficial start of the spring season is Major League Baseball, and when you take a look at the Masters on TV, it's fantastic. But we had Keith Stewart on today, our PGA expert on the SportsGrid Network. Boots on the ground next week, he will be at the Masters. And I told him to grab some of the food that the Masters does sell, and it's quite frankly very affordable. Pimento cheese sandwiches, I mean, say what you want about that. Maybe a turkey and cheese, ham and cheese, everything all very reasonable. A couple dollars per food item, $1 or $2 for a water bottle, very reasonable. It's like it's stuck in like the 1970s at that point. What I do get a kick out of every single year, the Masters, the Champions Dinner, where the champion, who won it last year, which was Scotty Scheffler, gets to pick his own items to share. And you want to talk about maybe the most exclusive dinner in the world? It just might be that one. Because you don't just get into it because you're friends. You get into it because you won the Masters. Very few people living have won the Masters tournament. And you get to go to that every single year, regardless if you're still playing or not. And that dinner is going to take place on April the 8th, which I believe. What is April the 8th? Let's see right now. The NCAA tournament is the 5th on Saturday. So 6th is Sunday, 7th. So Tuesday night, a day and a half, let's just say, before the Masters actually starts. Here's what Scotty Scheffler picked out. And as I told Keith this morning, I think it might be the best, the absolute best dinner I've ever seen that a champion wants to have. The appetizers are as followed. Cheeseburger sliders. Who doesn't love a damn good cheeseburger? And I'm sure the Masters making some flame-throwing burger. Along with firecracker shrimp. Delicious. Everybody has a version of that out. Whether it's, you go to P.F. Chang's or a restaurant, firecracker shrimp and cheeseburger sliders as your appetizers, phenomenal. You know what else is an appetizer? Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites with pecorino cheese and tomato basil sauce. Absolutely fantastic appetizer menu by Scotty Scheffler. Let's get to the first course. But you got to tell you, usually not that big of, but I certainly would try it. Texas-style chili. Most people love chili. I probably count on, I don't know, my hand. Many times I had chili in my entire life. It's not bad. I don't love it. I don't dislike it. Cheddar cheese, jalapenos, and corn chips. Like, nice. Like, that's your first course. Like, get some of this chili, put that down the palate, and see how that feels. After already having a couple burgers, firecracker shrimp, and meatball and ravioli bites. Fantastic. The main course, which got me so fired up, I can't even believe it. Like, I might have designed this. Wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. Remove the blackened redfish. I'm sure it's very good. That's fine. Cowboy steaks are the best. If it was bone-in, it would be even more sensational. And also, family-style mac and cheese, jalapeno creamed corn, soy-glazed Brussels sprouts, and chipotle lime roasted sweet potato. What a meal. Wood-fired cowboy ribeye for me was like all my life. Up until, I want to say, I'm 47 now. Let's go 33, 34. We'd get filet mignon wherever I went. Best steakhouse, Outback, whatever. All the same. Let me get the filet. It's my favorite cut. Strip steak, like them, grill them up all the time. But the first time that I went to Ruth Chris's steakhouse, which I've been to multiple times before that, so let me try something a little bit different. Let me get the cowboy ribeye. Life-changing. Never ordered a filet mignon since. It's been 12 years. That cut of the steak is so flavorful and so good with the bone in, brings tears to my eyes, people. Scotty Scheffler, world's best golfer, maybe world's best player to actually have dinner with. What a fantastic meal that the people will enjoy on Tuesday night. But only if you won the Masters. JP behind the wheels of steel. It's your boy down the right side. Let's cash in tickets tonight to Major League Baseball.
Ask any woman and she'll tell you all men are afraid of commitment.
Clearly, she's never met a SportsGrid listener. Checkmate. Check.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
4 minutes left. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his past 18 games. He's got 8 games remaining this season to surpass Gretzky's mark. The tush-push vote has been tabled by NFL owners for more discussion. The Packers authored a proposal to ban the play. NFL bylaws require a minimum of 24 votes to approve a change. 16 teams reportedly are in favor of the ban. The topic will likely be revisited when owners hold their spring meetings on May the 20th and 21st in Minnesota. Nathan Eovaldi has completed Major League Baseball's first complete game of the year. He pitched a 4-hitter as the Rangers shut out the Reds 1-0 on Tuesday. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More, the place to go for sipping rosés with seltzers on ice, making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
How many SportsGrid listeners does it take to change a light bulb?
It takes 2.
One to change the light bulb, and one to see if our mobile app can provide the same amount of light. Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And welcome in. It's Football Full Circle. I'm Scott Wetzel alongside is George Kurtz as we talk NFL for the next 60 minutes. And you know what? I'm going to make a promise, George. No Aaron Rodgers, no draft talk, no mock draft talk anyway. That's all been beaten to death over the last 2-3 weeks, and rightfully so. And it'll continue to get beaten to death until we hear from Aaron, until we actually get to draft day. So how about just talking little NFL? Just sit back, two guys, just schmoozing little NFL football for the next 60 in the beginning of April. Why not? How about Mahomes props that they can't seemingly miss? Flag football, anyone. Tush push lives on for another day. Cowboys and Parsons close to a deal. Overtime rules change. We'll get to it all over the next 60 minutes or so. What's going on, George? How are you today?
Yeah, right. That was the big news yesterday, right? I am doing well. Good. It's a fun time of year in the sports industry, right? NHL, NBA playoffs starting up here. We do have the NFL draft in 3.5 weeks, whatever it might be here. All right, it's about, and baseball just started here. So it's definitely one of my favorite times of year. And as you mentioned yesterday, we had the NFL meetings here. You said tush push, overtime. They changed some other little rules here. We'll see how this all works out in the end. And they're actually going to use Hawkeye to determine, ball placement. They're not going to have a chip in the ball, but they're going to use Hawkeye to determine where the ball should be placed.
Yeah, they did tweak some rules a little bit yesterday, that being one of them. Let's start with that, George. Overtime rules change. It's not getting as much fanfare as I thought it would. It's a big change. Now both teams, like they do in the postseason, both teams now will get the football. So you still got to be a 10-minute overtime. So I'm assuming if the team A scores first, team with a touchdown, team B, I would have liked for them to said, okay, if team B scores, then you got to you have to go for the 2-point conversion. Well, let's not end this thing in a tie. That's the goal with overtime, right? We really don't want ties. So if team A scores a touchdown, team B scores a touchdown, then you got to go for 2, and we'll just end the football game. But I kind of like the old rule. Honestly, if you really like it, I like the college rules. I really do. Give me the ball at the 35-yard line and play until you drop. Simple as that. But what about the overtime rule changes? What do you think about that?
There is no perfect solution to the overtime. So no matter what you do, people are going to complain and bitch about it, right? No matter what you do. Right. All right, so I didn't have a problem with the original rule. Didn't have a problem they tweak it. Don't really have a problem with this one either here, giving both teams a chance with the ball here. The 2-point conversion that you brought up, never even really thought about that, but that's interesting. You have to go for the win. Let's not play for a tie here. I don't think I would have been against that either. But like I said, bottom line is fine. I wish they would have made it 15 minutes, not 10. That's the one difference from playoff overtime, where it'll be a full quarter. Regular season, it will still be 10 minutes here. So it is what it is. Trying to think in my head. I guess you still want the ball first, right? So you put the pressure on the second team there. Plus, theoretically, they could have less time as well, right? Because you got the full 10 minutes. They may only have 3 minutes, whatever it comes down to. So you have your full playbook. They do not. So all in all, I'm okay with it. Both teams getting the ball does seem fair. But, Scott, I was also somebody, you know what? You play overtime. You give up a touchdown. Too damn bad. You deserve to lose.
I always say, George, why not just extend the fourth quarter? Just pretend it's the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. This way, what stinks a lot of times is the team scores a touchdown to send the game to overtime. They get the ball first, they score again, and they win the game. And it just seems, so unfair for the team that had the lead. Why not just extend the game? So whoever has the ball in the final couple of minutes of a tie game, you get the ball first, and you go to overtime. And if you score first, ball game over. You would still have some drama as far as, going against the clock. But I think that's actually the best way to go. Just extend the game. And you know what? If you don't have the ball, too bad. That's the nature flow of the game. If Team B has the football and they take it into overtime, they score first, ball game over. That's honestly how I would do it. If I was the commissioner, I had all the power to be, just extend the game. I know it would tweak things, the sense of urgency and calling timeouts with 2 minutes left. You don't have to do all that anymore. But I still think that would be there to a certain extent. Just pretend the game is continuing. That's all. Hi, George. I know you're talking, but I'm having some technical difficulties. Didn't quite catch all that.
I was saying I don't think the NFL would do that. I think it's too drastic for them to do it. Although I am interested in seeing how it would play out. I do think it would be. I just don't think the NFL is so. It's the old man's club, right? They're all 80 plus years old. They're not going to do something that crazy, but it is something interesting. Right. I think they would need to see it in like the AFL or the UFL. They would need to see it someplace else first. Say, it is works out. The fans do like that sort of thing. So I don't think they'll do it, but it would be somewhat interesting.
Yeah. You brought up, let's say it does go the way they're going to plan it now, obviously. So you win the coin toss. Do you want the ball first or no? The only reason you wanted the ball first last time is you score a touchdown, you win the game, right? Now that's not going to be the case. So is it better for you to give the opposing team the ball? They score. Now you have the ball, and you know how much you're going to have to get, whether it's 3 points, 7 points, or. So I still think you would rather. I think it would flip now, George. I think it's better to be on defense because if the opposing team scores 3, you need to score a field goal. So now you got 4 downs to get a first down. Whereas if you have the ball first, you don't get a first down after 3 downs. You're probably punting. So I think it does flip it.
If you trust your defense, yes. But if you don't, because if you have an average defense or even just even slightly better, what if they take a 7-minute drive, 8-minute drive, which you see all the time? Right, you're running. That's the only negative I can see about not taking the ball first would be time of possession. That they go on a long drive, even a 6.5-minute field goal. Well, now you got 3.5 minutes. I understand 3.5, fine. It is plenty of time here, but still, it does limit your playbook. You're not running the ball anymore. Right? You can't kill 30, 40 seconds on a run play. So it does kill some time here. I guess the only negative, that's what's banging around in my head too. Go to overtime. Do I want the ball first here? I think if I had a good defense, yes. If I don't have if I have anything but a good defense, then no, I'm probably going to take the ball first.
Yeah. I think most people, though, I really, it's kind of, you say that same philosophy for last year, right? You got a great defense. You hold them to without a field goal, and you get the ball back. Now you can win the game. You run the risk of them scoring a touchdown. So most people will say, just, you know what, I'll take the ball first. So you can kind of use that same thing last year, and I think most people went conservative. I think most people would go conservative and go on defense.
Safe play.
I think. Yeah, that'll be
It's a safe play. Because if you get the ball second, and we know this is going to happen, because the more I think about it, the more I really do want the ball second, by the way, because I want to know what I need to do here. But someone's going to do that, and then there's going to be a 9.5 minute drive, and you lost the game, you didn't get the ball again, and that coach is going to get crushed. Even though theoretically, I do kind of like the play, but sooner or later, someone's going to get nailed for it, and everybody, you're going to be talking about it, I'm going to be talking about it, everyone's going to be talking about it. What an idiot that coach is. He didn't even get the ball first, even with the new rules here. So a lot of these coaches are just going to play it safe.
Yeah. Detroit Lions, I think it was, proposed reseeding in the postseason, and that division winners didn't get automatic buys in the first round. I don't really have a problem with it. They said no to it. I wouldn't have had a big problem with that. I just don't think there's really, it goes back to the original notion of, I don't think there's a need for 4 divisions in each league. But only 4 teams. I mean, you're really giving a lot of emphasis on winning your division when it only entails 3 other clubs. And you get to have home field advantage because of that. I would like it where maybe there's really only 2 divisions in each league. Maybe 3, but not 4. We'll talk about it when we come back. Football full circle. We got some NFL props that can't miss as well coming up.
4 out of 5 scientists agree it's smarter to be on SportsGrid. And we're pretty sure that one scientist is still a virgin.
He just gives that 5.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Forecasters are warning of potentially deadly flash flooding and strong tornadoes as more rounds of thunderstorms are poised to strike parts of the Midwest and South. The potent storm system will bring the threat of significant life-threatening flash flooding starting Wednesday, according to the National Weather Service. Thunderstorms with multiple rounds of heavy rains are expected in parts of Texas, the lower Mississippi Valley, and the Ohio Valley beginning Wednesday and lasting through Saturday. Hooters, the U.S.-based restaurant chain known for chicken wings and Hooters Girls, has filed for bankruptcy protection. HOA Restaurant Group filed the motion for Chapter 11 protection on Monday. The company ran into financial woes, but says it intends to stay open and resolve its troubles within months. A group of the company's original founders that own almost a third of Hooters' U.S. locations, including about half of its biggest volume restaurants, plans to buy and operate more of the outlets. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
There's something you should know and always remember.
SportsGrid does not increase luck.
We're your unfair advantage for the latest sports gaming information. If you're looking for luck,
go find a horseshoe.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Welcome back to Football Full Circle here on the grid. Scott George Kurtz for another 45 minutes or so. Just talking, starting out with some of the rules that they implemented and rejected or put to the side, which in essence is rejected, at least for the time being, from yesterday's owners' meetings, George. And one of them was Detroit Lions offering up a proposal, reseed, basically allowing a number 2, second place or third place team, for that matter, to be to get a bye in the first round, versus each division winner, being automatically put ahead of all second and third place teams. And as I was saying, before we went to break, with 4 divisions of only 4 teams, it really, that's a big advantage. It really is. Why should Minnesota or Detroit or Chicago or whoever, anybody, but I'm looking at the NFC Central here because it's so strong now. Why should those teams be punished and yet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the world be rewarded just because they happen to be in a same division as other good teams versus Tampa Bay, which can win its own division with a 500 record literally the last couple of seasons?
Well, I understand Detroit putting this proposal forward. This argument's been going on for decades now, right? There's always a division that's stronger than everybody else that someone sort of gets screwed out of. I understand that. And the NFC North is sort of that division now, right? Because Detroit, good. All right. Green Bay, good. Minnesota, well, we think they'll be good. McCarthy, Chicago coming along here. So, yeah, they probably are the best division in football. So, as a chance, once again, that you could have a 12-win team. Hey, too bad. Lions won 13. I get that. But first off, this happens, like I said, the NFC East was like this for a while, then we had the AFC. I mean, it happens to every division at some point, so get over it. Second is, what's the first goal in training camp or mini camp when you talk to your players? Win the division. That's always the first goal, win the division. So I do think you should be rewarded for winning the division. I don't care how good it is or how bad it is. I mean, come on. The New England Patriots won their division for 48 straight years, and they always get the home because the division was terrible. Jets bad, Miami was bad, everybody was bad. It's just how it goes here. So I understand it, but I don't think. I think winning the division is important in all sports here. So I'm fine with it the way it is. I know you complained about the division sizes, and I agree with you. 4 in a division is idiotic. But that being said, the scheduling works out really nice that way. You can't go to 5 because then it's 6. What is it? 5, 5, 6. Right? One division's going to have 6. That's going to screw up the scheduling. So they're not going to do that. I'm not going to change until they get to 40 teams. I guess they got the 36. You could go 6 6s. So if they when they add more teams, they would have to add 4 more teams for you to really get your division changes here. I don't see that changing.
Well, if they added 1 more game, that would give you 15 games or a 13 game, 14 games. There's 15 teams in the conference. Now there's 16 teams in the conference. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say 1 more. Yeah, one more.
You need to get 36 teams.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be the next. That'll be the next time they can change the division as far as the size of the divisions. They can always realign if they want to, but you need to get the 36 because then you could go 3 6s, which they would probably have to do. You go 3 6s, then you get. It would be fair, no doubt. It would be more fair, but come on. The NFL doesn't care about fair. Right? They never have. They only care about money, 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 money. All right. So this argument wasn't going to get there for Detroit. I understand it, but like I said. I think the Eagles could have complained a couple of years ago when they won 12, 13 games, didn't finish first, didn't get a home game, whatever. That's life. All right. It's cyclical. Right now, it is the NFC North that's getting screwed.
Yeah. Tush push lives on for another couple of months anyway. Next time the owners get together, they pushed it off. I don't think they're going to pass this, George. We've talked a little bit about it before. I told you my situation. I don't have any problem with them pushing their quarterback. What I have a problem with is the tush push 10 yards down the field when the wide receiver or running back or quarterback for that matter is being pushed by offensive linemen because the defensive backs can't make tackles because you got 5 fat offensive linemen pushing this small little running back who couldn't, or wide receiver who couldn't fall to the ground if he tried. I mean, he literally couldn't fall because the guys are pushing him from behind. The defense is pushing him from in front, so he can't fall down. That's the stuff I hate. There used to be a rule that you couldn't do that, but that all went out the window. And I think that if they did the tush push, if they really outlawed it, then all they would do is just have those running backs that are in the backfield push the offensive lineman, and the quarterback would just go behind it. I think what's going to happen, we're going to have a compromise. I said this yesterday with Lisi. I think the NFL is going to have a point of emphasis. Every year, each league with the referees, they always have points of emphasis. Don't change the rules, but just re-emphasize certain things, guys. And I think what they're going to tell the referees is you're going to re-emphasize once forward progress is stopped, you blow the whistle. Don't let these offensive linemen come in and push and push and push and maybe move a half an inch, and then eventually they overpower the defense. As soon as that quarterback, his forward progress is stopped, the play is dead. And I think that would help quite a bit. I really do.
I think they're going to go nuclear option here, and I think they're going to ban all of this. So I don't think I have to worry about any of it.
Really?
The fact that this vote got tabled yesterday, lets you know that Goodell wants it gone. All right, because if Goodell didn't want it gone, they would have voted, oh, no, it didn't pass here, but let's move on. Goodell wants it gone now. Now it was, 16-16, and they need to get 24. So they need 8 more votes. Now you can see Goodell going behind the scenes in Green Bay, whatever it might be, and he's going to go bananas, trying to twist arms to get his votes his way. I think they do want the tush-push gone. I'm not saying I want it gone, by the way. I think it's ridiculous. It's a football play. Just because Philadelphia does it really, really well, and I'm a Cowboy fan, so it hurts us the most theoretically, right? It hurts the Cowboys a lot, but it's a football play. They're very good at it, and now we're going to ban it because of that. The NFL is trying to tell you, well, it's because of injuries, yet no data tells you it's because of injuries at all.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all BS. As the NFL just trying to sugarcoat things. But I think they're going to ban everything. I think they're going to make it what you said. This used to be the rule 20 years ago. It was 2 decades ago. They got rid of this rule. You can't push anybody. That's it. You can't push anybody. So the offensive lineman can't do what you're talking about. You can't do a tush push here. I think they're going to go back to that rule to stop all of this, assuming Goodell can get those 8 votes.
That's a lot of votes, George. That's all. 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, 8 votes to have 8 people flip on this. I don't know. I don't see that happening. I really don't.
Backroom deals.
Yeah. If it's kind of like, politics, right? All right, I'll give you this, but then you got to give me that. Simple as that. If you want this, okay, but then you got to vote for my proposal, which is going to be coming up, on something goofy. But obviously, I'm okay with it with the quarterback. It's the stuff down the field. So, interesting. All right, quick little break. We'll take a look at a couple of more from yesterday's owners' meetings and take a look at some of those props. Got some nice props that you can bet on already, believe it or not, on FanDuel. That's coming up.
There's smart.
And there's not smart.
Not smart is hope as a strategy. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Keep it here.
And win. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1976, the A's trade star outfielder Reggie Jackson and pitcher Ken Holtzman to the Baltimore Orioles for Don Baylor, Mike Torres, and Paul Mitchell. A year later, Torres won Game 6 of the World Series for the Bombers, and Jackson became a legend by belting 3 home runs. For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
Winter's over, spring is here, and baseball is back! Spring training this year, 19 MLB teams are replacing...
Ball 4, take your base.
With... high-speed camera algorithmic robot umpires used in professional tennis challenges for years.
You cannot be serious!
Tested in minor league baseball without much controversy other than tuning the strike zone. Just testing for now, but maybe next season we'll find out if tradition in baseball gets to meet the 21st century. Follow me at Capalbo on X and stay tuned to The Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this. Play ball.
Carver and Lisi.
By the way, great intro song, Matthias. I like that. That's going to be the new intro on Wednesdays with Carver and sometimes Lisi. Hey, look at this. I'm in the credits tonight. I made it to the big time. Look at this.
We had a discussion about this last night.
I was watching. I got a lot of things going on, Joe. Got a lot of things going on.
I don't understand what you're upset about. You're not on the show that night.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. On the SportsGrid Radio Network. Wherever you go,
there you are.
Download the SportsGrid mobile app and we'll be right there with you.
So now you can get the winning edge
anywhere, even while the wife's talking to you.
if you've got an earbud.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Hi, welcome back, football full circle here on the grid. Scott and George for another half hour, 45 minutes or so. Talking a little NFL. Got some good props. Really, some of these props, I always bring them up. They just don't make any sense when you break it down as far as what's supposed to happen, what should happen, and what number they're giving you. It's almost too good to be true. We'll get to that here in a little bit, George. But a couple more from yesterday's owners' meetings. No tush push. That was pushed off like we talked about. Playoff scenes we talked about. How about putting the ball at the 35-yard line on a touchback? Well, it's amazing. I personally get the conspiracy in me. I don't think they care about, touchbacks or more kickoffs or player safety or under that mumbo jumbo stuff they talk about. I just think they want the ball at the 35-yard line. You're talking 2 first downs now, and you're basically in field goal range, right? You start at the 35, you get a first down, you're close to midfield. You get another first down, you're at the opposing team's 40-yard line or so. And the way these guys can kick field goals, you're looking at a 55-yarder. You're in field goal range after 2 first downs. I think that with scoring down last year, I think they want touchbacks. I don't think they give a rat's behind about kickoffs. Let's start you guys at the 35-yard line, get you that much closer to being in field goal range already, up the scoring, let's have some fun. I think that's why they did this yesterday. 35-yard line. I think that will limit how many touchbacks you'll see. I think teams will be telling their kickers, no, I'm not giving them the ball at the 35-yard line. What are you kidding me? So I think this will increase kickoff returns. But I don't think that's really their goal. I think their goal is to have touchbacks and start at the 35-yard line.
I agree with everything you said. It'll depend on coaching philosophy, right? Does 5 yards, a 30 or a 35 really make that much of a difference? If you don't want the other team has a good returner, the Cowboys have a very good returner, right? I think teams are still going to blow the ball into the end zone, especially if they don't like the Cowboys' offense. They're not worried about what you're talking about. I guess for the Cowboys, one thing that makes a little bit of a difference is, 1 first down with Aubrey, even if you're in field goal range, right? He can kick 60-plus yarders there, especially indoors. What I find funny about this, Scott, is weren't they complaining that kickoffs were all these injuries, and that's why they were trying to get rid of them, and now they want more of them? I mean, what the hell? Is this the old, don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining? All right, because you already said they don't care about player safety. If they cared about player safety, they wouldn't be Thursday games or Friday games or everything else. They don't give a damn about it. It's all just, we're trying here. So when they get sued, and they will get sued again, they have, oh, no, we tried. We got rid of the kickoffs. We did this. We can't hit defenseless receivers anymore and everything else. This is also they can say stuff in court in my mind. They said they don't give a damn about player safety here. I just find this weird. You want to get rid of kickoffs, and now you want them back in the game. But you have this, what do they call it, the dynamic kickoff? Yeah, that's what it is. It's just silly in my mind. But I agree with everything you said here. I think they want more offense. That's what they always want, more offense.
Yeah. I read an article on this last week when they were discussing things that might be brought up at these meetings. And I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, George, but they said concussions last year and kickoffs were down a certain percent. And this article actually said it went from pick a number 10, I think it was, down to 7. And this epiphany went off in my head. I said, I knew it. I said, because before all the talk about concussions on kickoffs, I kept on saying to myself, I've watched 1,000 games every single year, and I don't remember seeing that many concussions on kickoffs where they got to change the rules and have these guys now line up downfield like everyone's talking about. It's but, all right, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe they're going to commercials. Maybe I'm flipping to another game. But, and then when I saw that figure, 7, they had 7 concussions on kickoffs. There were 1,000 kickoffs last year when you count all the touchdowns and start of the first half and start of the second half. 7 concussions and 1,000 kickoffs is next to nothing. What are we doing we're doing all this to save 7 concussions? I mean, they made it seem like there were 70 concussions. Every single kickoff, a guy's being helped off the field with a concussion, when in reality, it's not even close to being true.
It's all PR. Once again, it's all making you think they're trying to make the game safer. Yeah, when really, listen, they don't give a damn anyway here, and they do want more scoring. Yeah? And I guess once again, I do think they felt, kickoffs are boring. They think the idea was, come on, kickoff, all right, that's a pee break. Yeah, I'll go get a sandwich. You can do all that during a kickoff. They wanted to, I guess, keep butts in the seats, keep eyeballs on the screens here. I also think, by the way, TV has something to say about this too, because if it's a kickoff and you go into a commercial right afterwards, and we're missing the commercials too. And the TV is complaining about they're missing our commercials because they know nothing's going to happen here. They're going to get a drink. They're going to make a sandwich. They're going out and get something to eat. So I think I truly believe all of that here. But then again, hey, kickoffs, you do have guys running out to each other and colliding, so it should lead to more concussions. But as the numbers are pointing up, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, really doesn't. Really doesn't. All right, quick break. Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen. How about some Sam Darnold props to get into when we come back? Football Full Circle.
The Winning Edge.
You've got it.
But not everybody has it, because not everybody listens to us.
But we're working on that.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. The tush push vote has been tabled by NFL owners for more discussion. The Packers authored a proposal to ban the play. NFL bylaws require a minimum of 24 votes to approve a change. 16 teams reportedly are in favor of the ban. The topic will likely be revisited when owners hold their spring meetings on May the 20th and 21st in Minnesota. Nathan Eovaldi has completed Major League Baseball's first complete game of the year. He pitched a four-hitter as the Rangers shut out the Reds 1-0 on Tuesday. Alex Ovechkin scored career goal number 891. That's 4 shy of the NHL record held by Wayne Gretzky. Ovechkin gave the Capitals a 2-0 lead with about 4 minutes left in the first period of Tuesday's 4-3 win over the Bruins in Boston. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his past 18 games. He's got 8 games remaining this season to surpass Gretzky's mark. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
You're listening to SportsGrid.
Spreading the winning edge far and wide.
Terrestrial, internet, TV, satellite, and don't forget our mobile app.
Face it.
The Winning Edge is everywhere.
Somewhere there's a squirrel frustrated he can't get a phone.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
All right, welcome back. It is Football Full Circle here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, George Kurtz for another half hour or so. Talking some NFL. Why don't we, George, take a look at some of the NFL props? Listen, there's got to be a good bet to make a bet in April that you're really not going to be able to cash until the following January, maybe February, depending on how long the NFL season goes next season. So, but there are a couple that I was looking at this morning that's just like, that's not bad. That really isn't bad. Let me throw a couple your way. We'll start with some quarterback props. Patrick Mahomes. I saw this yesterday, actually, when Joe Lisi and I were doing the show. They have a passing prop for him of how many passing yards for the season? 4,000. 4,000 and a half. They always give you the extra half so there's no pushes, right? So Mahomes last year, I will tell you, 3,928. But that was by far his worst year. He didn't have Rashee Rice, the whole season. They're counting on a rookie-worthy wide receiver as being their best wide receiver, and he got progressively better as the season went along. Before last year, Mahomes threw for 4,183, so we'll say 4,200 yards, 5,200 the year before that, 48 the year before that, 47 the year before that, just over 4,000 the year before that, and over 5,000, nearly 5,100 the year before that. So every single year he's been a starter, he has thrown for 4,000 yards, except last season, which, again, only played 16 games because they sat him in the last game, but maybe count on that again this year. Although, with Denver being as good as they are and the Chargers being as good as they are, you might not have that luxury, that last game. So, look, 16, 17 games, you have Worthy, 1 year under his belt. You get Rashee Rice back. I know Kelsey's a year older, but I don't know how he does it, long story short, throw for 4,000 yards last year, barring an injury, but you could say that about any bet.
Yeah, we'll take the injury. Not like he has an injury history anyway, other than something he always hurts the ankle, which miraculously recovers the next week. But you did say some concerns there. All right, Travis Kelce is a year older. All right, and he was good last year, and especially at times he was very good, but he's still a year older. Sooner or later, fellow time's got to hit him. Rice should be back, okay, but that was a major injury he suffered. I mean, he tore everything in that knee. Is he going to be Rice? Is he going to be that guy, Scott? Or is he going to be that guy this year? It's going to take him a while to recover from it. To be that guy again here. Is he going to get suspended for what happened? So I worry about that. All right, I have nothing but good things to say about Worthy. I think Worthy's going to end up being that guy. So no problems there. Hollywood Brown, I don't know. Smith-Schuster, Sky, do they draft the wide receiver? Maybe that'll help as well. Boy, they draft 31 here. So they either have to trade up or hope somebody falls to them here. So I do have some worries here. That being said, the number's low. I can't take the under. Either I'm taking the over or I'm not. Now, I'll be the first person to tell you here, outside of win totals, I'm not betting too many NFL futures right now, mainly because, hey, I just put a ton on baseball futures here, whether it be their win totals, their division winners, home run props up the wazoo here. So I got to slow down my futures a little bit here because I don't want to spend my entire bankroll on futures. Might have gone a little bit bananas in baseball here. Speaking of that, Adam Kaufman's bothering me about my baseball plays for today going on. So, so I mean, like I said, I got football futures, but not individual player futures, not yet. But like I said, that number's low. I can't go under. It's either I'm going over or I'm not going to take it.
Yeah, I think the division being a little bit better next year. They won a lot of games last year, not scoring 20 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 17 games. That's 4 out of 15 wins, 15 wins. That's a lot. I don't think they're going to have that luxury next year. I think Denver's going to obviously be a little bit better. Chargers are obviously going to be a good football team. Who knows about the Raiders? I just think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more at 4,000 yards. Boy, that like I said, if he doesn't get 4,000, then something's really. There seems to be a little fork in the road. People thinking Kansas City's going to come back to the pack a little bit because they played so poorly against Philadelphia, right?
4,000 divided by 17. That's 235 yards a game. 235. That's what I said. I can't go under because you're sort of banking. If you're taking the under, you're assuming an injury. All right, because what are you going to say? He's going to get 210 yards? I'm like, no. Like I said, it's the over, or I'm not betting it for me.
Jalen Hurts, 19.5 touchdown passes. Had 18 last year, but he's had 22 and 23. The fact that he won, the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, a lot of it him running the tush push and all that other stuff. I think there's going to be a re-emphasis on Jalen Hurts wanting to show the world he's a quarterback who can throw the football. I think he gets 20 touchdown passes pretty easily next year.
Jalen Hurts, in a lot of ways, is the new Troy Aikman. And what I mean by that is he's not as good a quarterback as Troy Aikman, but Dallas, their passing game was designed to get the ball inside the 5-yard line. I mean, I'm the Cowboy fan. I can't tell you how many times Michael Irvin caught a pass at the 3 and went out of bounds. It happened over and over and over again. And that's what the Eagles offense is designed to do because, hey, for the Cowboys, Emmitt Smith, they'll run it in. And now you got Barkley, you got the tush push and Hurts. Now, I'm assuming the tush push is still going to be around here. I don't think personally it will. But if it's still around, that's what their offense is designed to do. If they get rid of the tush push, things could change a little bit. But this is another one, Scott, where I can't go under 19.5. It's a little more than one a game. In today's NFL, he can't do that. It's a little bit more than one a game, so I can't go under. It's either the over or I'm leaving it alone.
Yeah. And Barkley, God bless him, the great year he had last year, but it's not like he's been injury-free his entire career. Could you not make a case where he's due for an injury next season where he misses, maybe not the entire year, but missed 2, 3, 4 games? 18 touchdown passes last season in a year in which they ran the ball to death. They're not going to do that again. So I like that one a lot. Here's one that makes just no sense. Josh Allen. I'll give you the number touchdown passes he's thrown, and then you guess what the number is. Last, basically every year in the league. 28 last season, 29 the year before that, 35, 36, 37. What do you think they put his touchdown passes number at? 37, 36, 35, 29, 28.
Depends how far back they're going back on the algorithm, right? If it's just the last 2 years, it could be 29.5. If they're going back for more 5 years, it should be 31.5. So if you're telling me it's less than 29.5, this is an over. All right, so I don't know about it. What's 29.5?
Yeah.
It's less 28.5?
Yeah.
I mean, so They're averaging
27.5.
20. That's nuts. I'm going over. That's an over. He's never not hit it. Other than
He's never
first 2 years in the league.
last year was his worst year. He had no wide receivers last year, right? None. You know they're going to go out and get somebody, or whether it's draft or whatever the case may be, or Kincaid get a little bit better. 27.5. He's hit that his last 6 years.
You just named the guy who
what
killed
are we
me.
or 5 years? What are we missing?
Right? Well, I don't think we're missing it. I understand I'm going the over. All right. Once again, you can't play at the under here unless you think Allen's going to get hurt. But I understand Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, Samuel. These guys don't excite you. I get that. Kincaid killed me. Absolutely killed me. But James Cook is good at catching the ball out of the backfield as well. He ever touchdowns. No, this is I like all the overs you mentioned here, but this is the one where I would probably feel the best about going the over. I mean, this offense is built around Josh Allen here. He doesn't ever not hit this. So yeah, I'm going to take the over.
Yeah. His passing yards as well. They have that listed at 37,775. 37, yeah. So it is his last 4 years throwing the football. He has, hold on a second, let me just put his numbers up here. 37-31 last year. So he did go a little bit under, to be fair. But years before that, 4,300 in essence, 4,400, 4,500. Every year he's been a real starter except his first year, for all intents and purposes. He's hit this number. Very weird. We'll get George's reaction to it. They are down on the Buffalo Bills, i.e. Josh Allen, for some reason. Football Full Circle. We'll talk about it when we come back.
We're not saying every SportsGrid listener is a legend, but you might start thinking about who's going to play you in the movie. Just saying. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Forecasters are warning of potentially deadly flash flooding and strong tornadoes as more rounds of thunderstorms are poised to strike parts of the Midwest and South. The potent storm system will bring the threat of significant life-threatening flash flooding starting Wednesday, according to the National Weather Service. Thunderstorms with multiple rounds of heavy rains are expected in parts of Texas, the lower Mississippi Valley, and the Ohio Valley beginning Wednesday and lasting through Saturday. Hooters, the U.S.-based restaurant chain known for chicken wings and Hooters Girls, has filed for bankruptcy protection. HOA Restaurant Group filed the motion for Chapter 11 protection on Monday. The company ran into financial woes, but says it intends to stay open and resolve its troubles within months. A group of the company's original founders that own almost a third of Hooters' U.S. locations, including about half of its biggest volume restaurants, plans to buy and operate more of the outlets. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Ask any player and they'll tell you any advantage is important.
That's where we come in.
SportsGrid delivers gaming strategies and analysis 7 days a week.
The winning edge.
It's your advantage to more winning
more often.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
All right, welcome back to Football Full Circle here on the Grid. Scott and George talking a little NFL. Some props that FanDuel, anyway, has posted. So FanDuel does. I imagine all the other ones as well. So we're talking a little Josh Allen here with touchdown passes, which the number they're giving you right now, 28.5 or 27.5, is less than what he's had over his last 5 years, which is just crazy to me. And then his passing yards, for all intents and purposes, same thing. They're giving you 37.775. He had close to that last year. He didn't hit it his second year in the league, which was his first year starting the entire season. But all the others, George, well over 4,000 yards. So they're giving you a less number touchdown passes, a really good number of passing yards with Josh Allen. So what do the boys in Vegas know about Josh Allen that we don't? You know, he got a new contract, so he's no longer going to be motivated. I don't get this with Josh Allen either.
Once again, doing a little quick math there, it comes out to 222 yards a game to get that number.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you're not asking all that much. I think what it comes down to is I think they are down on the Buffalo Bills passing game. The receivers we mentioned, there's no one special there. Kincaid, I don't know, spit the bit last year, and he killed me. I had a couple of props on him, just killed me. And maybe it's also because of the emergence of Cook. That they have a legitimate run game. They don't need Josh to throw the ball 40-plus times a game here. So I think that's part of it as well. That being said, I can't bet this under. You don't want to bet the over? Fine. But, 27.5, 3,700? In my mind, Scott, the only way he doesn't get this is injury. That's the only way he doesn't get this.
I tell you what, and you say that, and it's true, George, in that I've looked at this stuff over the last 2 years, and the numbers are so overwhelmingly in favor of the over. That, I ended up playing like 10. I mean, literally, I would play 10 quarterbacks, 10 running backs, 10 wide receivers. And basically, it all came down to health. That's really what the last 2 seasons. Because you would get numbers like this where it just wouldn't make any sense. You bet the over, and then Derek Carr, misses 5 games. Tua Tags misses 5 games. Pick any player. They miss. Guys that get their numbers are the guys that stay healthy, and the guys that don't are the guys that get hurt. So you're really betting on will the guy stay healthy or not. That's in essence, over the last 2 years of me following this, that's what it's come down to for all intents and purposes anyway. And with Josh Allen, big, strong. I mean, I know he does run. Maybe they're saying, you know what, it's only a matter of time. As much as he runs and puts his shoulder down and barrels into people.
He plays through injuries, which is what I kind of like. He plays through them. He's not someone who sits out and goes, my fingernail hurts. I can't play today. He plays through it. This is why I kind of like it. Pat Mahomes, the same thing. We joke about the ankle thing, how it miraculously recovers, but he plays through it. That's all I care about. He plays through it.
Yeah.
Right, so that's yards he's going to get. Maybe he's not going to have as good a game, but he's going to get yardage that maybe another quarterback wouldn't have gotten. I wouldn't bet Tua. Right? I wouldn't bet Dak Prescott gets hurt a lot now. Guys get hurt all the time. Derek Carr. I'm not betting those guys because I think there is a chance they're going to play 13 games and not 17. But someone like Allen, Mahomes, they generally play through their injuries. But sure. I think you said a great point there. There is a chance sooner or later he is going to get hurt. He does run a lot. Sooner or later he's going to take that hit that he shouldn't take. And he's going to miss some time. But once again, this is gambling. And it's a risk I'm willing to take.
All right, here's one that's not necessarily like great value or good numbers-wise. Just really, what do you think? Did you buy into last year or not? And that's Sam Darnold. 20.5 touchdown passes. They got a number posted at. At 35 last season for Minnesota, obviously. Now he's with Seattle. Big drop down in who he's throwing the football to. They lose all their wide receivers, Lockett gone, Metcalf gone. But he's going to be the starter. He's not getting pulled, I wouldn't think, unless he really does lousy. I mean, you could get 21 touchdown passes in your sleep. Going up against the Rams that are going to score a lot. Niners will score a lot. Arizona, no defense. So, he's in games where he should be able to move the football, throw some touchdown passes. I mean, I'm not the biggest Sam Darnold fan in the world. I'm not. But I think he's going to get 21 touchdown passes.
I mean, Cam's a Seattle fan. Cam will be flipping out if he doesn't get 21, right? Because that means they had a very bad year or he got hurt. I don't think he'll get replaced either. Sam Howell's your backup. It's not like he's a top prospect. I guess there's a chance they could draft somebody at 18, Milroe, someone like that. But I'm more wary of this one because that offensive line sucks. It's terrible. All right. This is not Minnesota, which would give him time, and you had great wide receivers there, and you had a really good head coach who was really good at designing play. If you watch Donald was so much better in the first half than the second because those scripted plays, he was really good at it. They were really good at scripting. And then as the game went on, not so much. You mentioned no more DK Metcalf. You just love JSN, so that's good. Cooper Kupp, had my doubts. There's no way he's playing 7. I would not take any Cooper Kupp props, at least not overs. Unders maybe, but not overs. He gets bit over time here. You don't really have a tight end here. You do have theoretically a strong running game. He should get it, Scott, but I'm not taking it. I just have all sorts of worries about Darnold with a new team here. I just don't trust the guy. I think this could be a very blah season for Seattle.
All right. Speaking of Seattle and wide receivers, how about good old DK Metcalf now with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Again, little pop quiz here. I'll give you his numbers. You tell me what you think the number is for him with the boys in Vegas. Receiving for Metcalf over the last several years. Last year, where everything kind of went up in smoke, 992. Year before that, 1,100. Year before that, 1,000, 1,050. Year before that, 967. Year before that, 1,300. His rookie season, 900 yards. So 900, 1,300, basically 1,000, 1,000, 1,100, and 1,000 last year.
Well, this number is going to be nuts because you can't go by past years because he's not on Seattle anymore. And no matter what you think about Geno Smith, Geno was a decent quarterback. He made some boneheaded decisions, but a decent quarterback. And we have no idea who the freaking quarterback's going to be in Pittsburgh. Now, you said I'm not allowed to talk about Aaron Rodgers. First thing you said in the show.
Let's go. There we go. I knew it. We had to bring him in here somehow or another. We were going to get Aaron Rodgers. We couldn't do it, even if we tried.
I'm just going to say this. I think Rodgers will be the quarterback there. I think he will be the quarterback. So that being said, I don't know what the number is, but if it's under 1,000, I'm going to have to go over it. Once again, quick math tells me 1,000 yards, 17 games is 59 yards a game. How does he not get this if it's Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback?
How about 900 yards? That's what they're giving you. 900.5. How's he not
got to go over?
Got to go over, right? All right, a couple more when we come back in game live. All right, we'll circle. You're on the grid.
Luck is winning the lottery. Strategy is settling your divorce before cashing in the ticket.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and SiriusXM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with the early line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Moneyline at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern. And Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evenings simmer with Carver and Lisi. Then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find SportsGrid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Imagine combining the exciting investment opportunity of cryptocurrencies with the power of artificial intelligence to maximize your IRA, 401k, or other investment funds. Listen, if you're looking for ways to accelerate your retirement growth, Block Trust IRA has market-leading strategies and solutions for all levels of investors, from $1,000 to millions. And they partner with Bitcoin Magazine's #1 crypto trading fund in the world to maximize your returns. Plus, their team of IRA specialists is here to help you roll over your IRA or qualified retirement account to the new world of cryptocurrency investments. So make this free call right now to set up your account and learn more.
800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. That's 800-434-5313.
Think of us as your cool roommate that has this innate gift of somehow always picking winners and never bugs you about doing the dishes or paying rent. Sports gaming strategies and information 24/7.
Get the winning edge.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Welcome back, Football Full Circle here on the grid. Scott and George having a little fun here, taking a look at some of the NFL props that, listen, you got to have a good reason, like I said earlier, to put a play in April that you're not going to be able to cash until February. But some of these numbers, they will go up. There's no two ways about it. If you want, I hate this phrase, right, but value, George, Now is the time to put these things in because these props, generally speaking, they don't go down. They really only go up when people start paying attention to it because most people, when they bet props, they'll bet overs. So when more and more focus becomes on some of these numbers that we're giving you, people are like, yeah, Josh Allen, whether it's Mahomes, whoever it is. So they do tend to go up a little bit, and you'd be surprised how that can make all the difference in the world. So, as long as you're not putting too much money down, it's well worth it. Like I said, think about it this way. I always tell people, if you're going to do investing, right? And you're buying, 100 shares of, whatever, Allstate stock, whatever it is, right? You're looking for 10, 15% on your return in a year if you're lucky, right? Here, you're doubling your money. It's 100% return for 6, 7, 8 months. So look at it that way. That helps you, Eddie, as far as not being able to cash out right away. So we had Metcalf, 900 yards, right? He's had that all 6 years. All 6 years he's had 900. So no matter who's at quarterback, I think they made a promise to him that we'll get you to football. And I think they'll go out of their way to do it. So, yeah, right?
It's 53 yards a game. And by the way, to your point, it's right now it's 900. If Aaron Rodgers signs there, that's going up. All right? If they trade George Pickens by the draft or at the draft, whatever it might be, that number's going up. All right, so you're not going to get a better number than what we got from Metcalf right now, unless you think once again that Mason Rudolph's going to be their starting quarterback, or that what are they drafting 21? I think that they don't sign Rodgers, or that they draft the quarterback at 21 and Rodgers goes, nope, not signing with you now because I don't want to mentor a young quarterback and and get replaced. So there is some risk involved there, but I fully believe Rodgers signs there, so I would take this pretty easily.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, now with the LA Rams. They got an over-under of 925 yards. Long story short, he's hit that 7 straight years, 8 of his last 9, ever since he really became a starter. Now, he's a little bit up there in age. He clearly is. And somewhere along the line, he's going to fall off. But Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford throwing him the football. Same division as Seattle we talked about before as far as, being able to score. Good running game. I will say that. Halfway decent defense. So I don't know if they're going to get to that many shootouts. But, again, the numbers for him over the years, even last year where everything was just as bad can be with the Raiders or Jets, he still combined for over 1,000 yards. He's had over 1,000, well over 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight years. And again, he's hit this number 7 straight years in 8 of the last 9. Until he falls off the cliff, I'm going to say over.
Yeah, this is an over probably as well. I won't bet it though for 2 reasons. One, he's not the number 1 there, right? That's Puka Nacua. We know that. 2, chemistry issues with Stafford. Maybe they won't be there. I think they will be. I'm just going putting out the the negatives here. What could possibly happen, or why I won't do it? There could be chemistry issues there. Maybe it takes him a little while to know the offense. That sort of thing. When we went to the Jets, it was his old offense. He didn't have to learn anything. He already knew it. So there are some worries about that, but the number is really low here. But like I said, Stafford does have eyes for Nacua. Nakua's going to be the number 1. I don't think Adams has dropped. On a scale of 1 to 10, he was a 10. Maybe he's a 8.5, 8.8 now. So he's still a really, really, really good player here. But Nacua is still the number 1 there. So those are my negatives here. When it comes to these kind of props, we're going to have 1,000 of them. So if I have any kind of doubts, I'll stay away. I think he gets the over. I do. But for me, I'm probably not going to play this one.
Yeah. Which is your favorite one out of all these? You have one? Either the Mahomes or Hurts or the Josh Allen ones? Metcalf, maybe?
I think it's Metcalf. It's 53 yards a game. They're banking on an injury. So even if it's Mason Rudolph, and I don't think it'll be Rudolph, he has to get that. I mean, the Steelers always win 8, 9 games. They're always in these things. I think he'll get. I'm going to go. My favorite one's going to be the Metcalf one, just too low a number.
Yeah, and you take it on a Ravens team that you know is going to score. Take it on the Bungles team you know is going to score. Browns defense, which isn't exactly great. I don't know what you're going to get out of them, but they're going to be throwing the football a little bit more.
I'm also banking on Rodgers signing there, by the way. I think Rodgers goes there because he has no other choice.
Yeah. That one, and I think Mahomes at 4,000. He's not going to regress that much. He just isn't. George, great job as always. Always enjoy working with you. We'll do it again next Wednesday, as a matter of fact. So Football full circle here on the Grid. Enjoy your day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Now you've done it.
You found the advantage for gaming, odds, and more. But we call it the winning edge for short. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.